I'm probably forgetting something this time. Probably, maybe. It feels like it. In any case, an irregular sort of stream shall be here, shall be present, shall be, hiding from the IRS perhaps, shall be adjusted in microphone type of way. There's okay, start out with a psychic attack and a pass. A psychic attack and a pass at the same time. Hello to you on a Friday. You two is something. I'm instantly disarmed by the mental image of meaty kitten in a can of Pringles. Honestly, the meaty part, it didn't really stick to my conception of that until you said it. Hello to you, Ziggy. How you feeling? And hello to you, silly little guy, saying, while I was waiting for this notification, I was not expecting that stream. Yeah, I wasn't entirely sure if I was going to finish these Smasher Pass tier lists that interviews a Hijinks Arcade put together for a range of games. But you know, they've been put together and I'm going to take a stand on every single one of them. Hello to Meme Dumpster Fire and Ziggy talking about there's mint chocolate flavored Pringles. I'm not a fan of mint chocolate too, so and with Pringles, I think my date got a little bit worse. It's not a you thing. It's just the fact that exists. Hello to you, Kai. How you feeling? There's Kai saying Friday stream. Never seen this before. Indeed. Adding the plus to the LGBT, and there's sometimes Junior saying you should play Passport Town. Wait, was that like a little bit the game that is a little bit like Papers, Please, but then there's like a spooky. It's like some kind of a shapeshifter, some kind of a alien, or am I thinking of a totally different one? Passport. Oh, I am thinking of a totally different one. I'm thinking of the concept of passports. I'm thinking of the concept of passports whenever they occur in a video game. This is an artist game, and it makes sense for you to say this. So why do you get K Premium? Good question. A lot going on in my character design sort of zone, and there's my name is dead saying tats. Is that tats I see, or are those man tats? Huh. Where do I look? Where am I looking? I can't quite tell. The like on here. Well, there's hats. There's an outfit sort of thing going on. I think I want to put a face on this. If the Smasher Pass is like waiting for the person who set it up to put theirs. Ooh, Dog of Money and Talk of the Art Game. Yeah, I looked up Passport out, and okay, it's on Steam. They already have a sequel if you want. I've seen a couple of people play this, but it freaks me out a little bit, not too much, just a little bit, to kind of wonder what criteria the game judges things on, because I've seen enough of it to know that there's judgment happening. There's judgment going on. Alright, so there's clicking on things to dismiss them. Wondering what I have up here, a little bit more of a layer if I want to add a face to a character that is here. There's Kai saying, eating pizza cupcakes. This is the line. When you say pizza cupcakes, I think of a pastry, but it's flavored as a pizza. But the one that I want to be true, the one that when you say a dish and it is a thing, I want pizza cupcakes to be like those little puffs, the little Caesars, little Caesars product, whatever the hell. Okay, so I don't think I want this part. Get some jawline in here. There's blueberry hazelnut mixed flavor. I don't know why, Ziggy. When you say something, I think it could be you could be joking me. You could be messing with me. There's my new stat saying what you drawn. Anyway, drawing a little bit of drawing a little bit of original character. Is supposed to be the type of character who's the only person with a level head in a group of people who are completely unhinged. The only person actually performing a useful function, but totally powerless in my cast of original characters that I am sometimes preoccupied with. And I've drawn this character before. Buff women researcher type of vibe. But I don't know, I've reworked the design a little bit starting last stream, and I don't know, I feel like I'm getting somewhere. There's saying that the sequel to the game is the same as one, and I'm looking up blueberry hazelnut Pringles. I don't know. It's not because I want to see blueberry hazelnut mix flavor Pringles. It's not because they are real. They are real. They are from 2010. Things from 2010 can't hurt me anymore a lot of the time. Alright, let's get this all configured so it's playing in the way that I want it to. There's something saying, Shadow, don't tell anyone. This is a personal secret. I'm in red numbers. I have a debt of a few million US dollars. The IRS is looking for me. The bank is looking for me. The local church is looking for you. For you! I was just conceiving of the church as a villain, which it must be if it's targeting our dear comrade. YouTube is specific. Well, I hope that don't tell anyone doesn't contradict with the fact that I instantly read your message out loud. Alright, so here's observing the psychic power of a blueberry hazelnut flavored Pringles. Ziggy, how do you know? How do you know all of these things? Is a hat appearing on a hat? Excellent. Alright, so also in drawing a face and having already completed a lot of the rest of what's going on here, that puts me at a stage in a drawing that I don't always reach, and it makes me instantly try to start thinking of what can I do as a more detailed face. Alright, so a little bit of stringy type of hair, perhaps a little bit of what else would we want to have? There's a variety of noses that you can put in the anime inspired styles, some of which are no nose at all. Well, anyway, some sharp sort of eyes for this character, because when you get sharp eyes, it means that you have your life together. Do I have big sort of eyebrows on this? I don't quite know. It looks alright. I think. There's Ziggy saying, I know what I'm giving the school at the end of the year. You are giving them biohazards. I'm sorry, that's a strong word. You are giving them Pringle blueberry hazelnut. Guys saying, it's basically a cupcake with different savory flavors. Very filling, 8-4. Spicy barbecue chicken was my favorite. Like completely savory flavors all the way through the pizza cupcake? Or is there still some of the cupcake base of sweetness? Not to interrogate you about the foods that you eat, but there's just last, and my mind immediately filled in Christmas. I gave you my heart and I'd like to repent. Not to convert us suddenly to Christmas music. Not to the heart. Okay, I can't even finish the rest of the thought going along with it, but I can finish some pointier shaped sort of eyes, and this seems like the kind of character to have a little bit of eye bags. Can I convey that? And are the vibes going how I want them to go, or did I somehow forget again the proportions that I want to exist and make your head smaller than human heads usually are. I think I have done the second one. This. He's saying Shadow coin plummeted faster than I expected. Each Shadow coin is worth negative 2,000 US dollars. This is something I've never seen before. It was a scam. I lost my money. I lost my house. I can't even feed my coyotes. Your coyotes. So as a silver lining, are you getting along better with the coyotes that love to maul and scratch you? I just think that it's incredible when you learn to live in peace with the coyotes that love to maul and scratch you. Did I mess something up? Did I mess something up? Is this the size of a head? Depends. It depends. Sometimes there's anime proportions and they can create a larger head, cartoon proportions especially, much larger. This looks kind of better. Yeah, we're not going for the pin-headed experience. There's Ziggy saying, did you know that mint stimulates cold and chili stimulates heat? And that the taste of really warm and cold is separate, so when you combine mint and chili, you get the feeling of hellfire? I've heard of such a thing, I admit. It's not a completely foreign concept to me. However, I am not stupid, so I've never done it. But if somebody does it, then I can't even blame them. I mean, I go on roller coasters sometimes. That entails a proclivity to do something just for the feeling, the thrill of doing it. Well, would you ever try such a thing? Here's a little bit of a mouth going on. We are creating tired women. We are creating... Okay, proportionally, anime mouths usually sort of take up that much width, but the up and the down of it can be any which way. There's Kai saying, nope, nothing sweet about it. Okay, interesting. You're saying it's cupcake shaped, only savory fillings and toppings, although they did have sweet cupcakes and you did not want those. Okay, they didn't combine the two of them. That's interesting. So that's the thing that I encounter with Philippine cuisine sometimes. Straight up, there will be a pastry, and then cheese like you'd put on your sandwich gets put on it. I've tried several of this type of sweet. Just the sugar with the cheese, the normal ordinary cheese, not the cheesecake cheese, not the cream cheese, salted cheese. I've tried that a couple of times. I can't get into it. Don't know what it is. Mint chili is being discussed. Discussed? Well, what an apt word for it. There's he saying a bowl of mint chocolate Pringles and chili Pringles for the school end. I've certainly read a sentence just now. Ooh. You are doing sciences. You're doing sciences with this. You wanna, those powdered mixes that you blend into a drink, and orange soda. We could make the chocolate milk mix drink in the orange soda, and then you could have a bad time. I'm full of more suggestions for more foods, ? There's Sadiq saying, I did indeed make a truce with the coyotes, but now that I can buy them food, they're starting to plot against me and looking for me. If I eat a cupcake and it's not sweet, even if it's delicious, I would feel betrayed. Betrayed as if by a coyote. Now the plot thickens, as does, I assume, the better. Alright, a little bit of ears can happen, and I don't quite know what shape I would want for them. Okay, but the rest of a head, the rest of a skull, the rest of an everything, shaped a little bit like this. I love putting, little zigzaggies in hairline shapes. And also, I love the way that... Okay, I still haven't watched the pilot for this cartoon, but I think it's called Ramshackle. I tried to study the style a little bit the other day. I didn't super duper get the vibe Not exactly, but okay, that's a pile. Okay, that's okay, very much a pile. Didn't exactly get the vibe, but it was interesting to learn from the hair on that. There's talk of the ramshackle mention. Watch it, it's so fun. And okay, things I've missed in the chat are I just dropped my pen in the most failing at being cool way ever without even trying to be cool and failing. It slipped from my fingers, spun around all professional, and fell onto the floor. That sounds like it was almost something, almost a flourish, almost a drumstick twirl, as you might see them do sometimes. Alright, so one tiny piece of hair can be loose. Perhaps another singular curl. It's a straight-laced sort of character, though. Also, I do want to do something for the nose. Delicious in Dungeon inspiration kind of vibes. That's not what I was imagining, though. What was I imagining? Okay, the ordinary, nondescript anime vibes. Put just a singular dash, and in between Delicious in Dungeon and that, you can put like a little bit of detail. Okay, well, there's options. I wanted to make like more proportional to the proportional. What words am I saying? To the mouth. To the mouth. Kind of like that. Kind of like that. Okay, maybe. There's the saying of this devil don't come for my soul. I come for his. What is censored with five of the censor letters, asterisks? Penis. Maybe. That's my first guess. Lock it in. There's 60 saying, Shero, I need my wallet back. A policeman found me. I need documents. Oh. What were you trying to do with the policeman anyway? They found you and want to see the documents for what reason? Are you buying liquor? Well, perhaps to discourage alcoholism. Perhaps to discourage the alcoholism. Must just simply leave it. No, okay. No. What a ridiculous sort of form. Okay, what wallet would I speculate you'd have? Is this infinitely recursing? And what exactly am I doing over in this tab to make it lag a little bit more than usual? Oh, I haven't restarted my device? Is that what that was saying? Oh, well, I mean, good to know. But I just restarted it, genuinely. The Zig is saying, don't search up Swedish elder home house burning down. I mean, that sounds quite unpleasant. Sounds like potentially, probably, most likely a tragedy indeed. Alright, the muscularity is here, everything is here. Kai has watched Ramshackle. They're saying, I'm censoring myself. The length doesn't mean anything. I see. Can't even finish whatever sentence I was gonna say. I just read the length doesn't mean anything and then started laughing. I guess that's it for me. There's silly guy saying, oh, speaking of Ramshackle previous, they have a song actually. Ooh. You know, since it's on the mind, perhaps I shall look it up. Ramshackle. Okay. This is the style that I was learning about, I think. 15 minutes of it 1 year ago. Sure, I'll see that. There's, oh, that's really cute of them to hide an Easter egg in there. And I do very much like the stylizedness of the environment, because the environments that I see the most often are like the webtoon kind of stock image design ones, stock things. Okay, let's the intermittent sort of version of it is probably okay. I'm losing connection to everything. It's probably a little bit infuriating to watch, but that's how I shall see it in parts. Oh wait, you had already sent some things. Oh, there's a song in the pilot, huh? Okay, well that's making me think that I would definitely if I am seeing the pilot, then I would want to take these Skullgirl tunes off of my skull. Ziggy saying the Elder Home had nothing to do with me, and I don't have the hoodie that the guy in the camera footage has. Ziggy, do you happen to have 50 to 60 elder enemies that just so happened to live in one place? Is that why you're deflecting a little bit? My goodness, there's actually saying you're in the back of a police car. Wait, I want to give you a stylish wallet. Tell the policeman to wait. Tell him to hold on a second. Tell him to don't start driving yet, and not because you have his catalytic converter. Okay, I'm looking up like a stylish wallet. Like a stylish wallet, but like from Reddit. I don't know. I'm giving you Redditors wallets now. Well, they can come in a variety of colors. Okay, don't even worry about it. You are gonna be so swagged out by the time you are in jail. Is there some dyslexia going on? What you don't like? You don't like when somebody gives you the nicknames? Alright, look at this incredible amount of style that's happening right exactly now. Not just wallet. Not just wallet, but we're gonna put a bunch of stuff on it, right? Don't even worry about money that could maybe have been stored in it. You know, it's gone to excellent uses. 1 badillion Jaro coin. Alright, so here is more of this, and there's like a hefty sort of, I'm seeing this hefty sort of strap. If I stare into this too intently, I've noticed when I stare at people's faces for like an extended period of time, I become more affectionate toward that person because they're more familiar. I noticed that thing about me, about like, I don't know, becoming familiar with celebrities. And I feel like I'm in danger of that with looking at this wallet reference image. It's, completely swagged out though. I think you will agree. Look, okay, wait, sad faces being drawn just because you're having wallet difficulties. Let me put a little bit of the chain detail on it. I'm completely locking in. There's the silvery chains all around it, like this one ring at the end, and you know, it's just incredibly styled. Incredibly styled, if I may say. Could even put some gosh darn little bit of shading on that. Look at that. Is that not the most styled wallet you've ever seen from the back of a police car? And you've got an FM grasp of it as well. Well, excellent. There's Kai saying crawls on floor 9 episodes away from 700. Watching all of One Piece sounds like a health problem, but I congratulate you on your persistence. You're having fun times. You're having fun times in search of the One Piece. There's a couple of very specific dates. April 23rd, 2019. I was just looking up a photo that I took in 2019. It was January though, nothing to do with April. Looked up a photo that I took in that time because there was a cloud that stretched on for miles, as clouds do, but it was really low and it looked like a wall. It looked like a wall cutting into the sky in my city. There's Ziggy saying, my manga has nothing to do with this, and talking about the One Piece grind never stopping. Talking about what the heck is wrong, Ziggy? You know, we're just transferring this excellent wallet. There's Kai saying liked the racism arc. When you say racism arc, did they defeat it or did they make racism too? Because I feel like it could go either way. as someone who has no idea what's going on in the One Piece except for Luffy, which should feel. It's just such a pure soul from what I've seen. I've only seen like early episode of Netflix adaptation, but what a fellow! No wonder I have a nephew who is named after him. You've been talking about having watched One Piece for all this time, and I never mentioned that I met a little nephew who has been named after specifically the anime. Yeah, Luffy, you gotta love him. Alright, so I drew you a wallet, and now you got it. And the police, they're gonna be so dazzled by your incredible wallet. They're not even going to care about documentation. They're gonna say that's really freaking sick. They're saying the policeman is angry. This wallet doesn't have my document. Is it too late to pour, like, as if via funnel, some incredibly important documents? Here's a driver license. Here's a airplane license. You want any other licenses while I'm doing this? Here's a receipt mailed to your residence. You want anything? This guy saying it was a big thing. Fishmen in the universe are minorities, and humans treat them badly, and vice versa. Oh my! They're not eating each other too. Okay, that's besides the point, though. I know it just sometimes happens in anime. So when the crew went to the island of fish, they had to deal with that and slavery, and they helped. Also, Luffy the goat, all he thinks about is meat and vibes. Hey, the one to truly fix the world through being a pirate who is a force of positivity. As my name is dead saying, I feel like if they did have your docs, you would be arrested for some certain crimes. Ooh. Does the lawyering happen not to defend somebody, but to attack somebody? Oh, very intriguing. How incredibly intriguing. And does all of this play regular? I've had the headphones off because I want to see bits of Ramshackle the pilot. My YouTube always shutting down recently, my YouTube app. Ramshackle the pilot. I want to admire the arts of it. Why do you find spleens in the... Okay, not to distract myself constantly, but what does a spleen look like? It does look like that. Yeah, I guess it's easy enough to look up. There's my name is saying that. There's 60 saying, Shadow, what are you doing? These documents are falsificated. You doubt my ability to print conveniently, completely documentable docs. Why do you doubt me? Why do you doubt me? It's completely reasonable. You're saying the policeman is going to tase me. Wait, maybe the tasing is gonna like exfoliate you or something. Not that the documents are false, but I'm just saying, if you get tased, is it all bad, or are you just gonna find yourself energized, refreshed, a little zhuzh in your step for the rest of the day? What do you think about that? There's a guy saying, I could never be a civilian in One Piece, though. It's hell on earth. A lot of things. Why does the heartbreak put on the exfoliations? I'm always exfoliating. All right, I'm looking at Ramshackle Pilot. Why would my YouTube close multiple times when I'm watching the thing? You're getting some. I love the character design. It's really cute. And the. Am I getting Scrappy Girl's representation? Is there any cause I feel like I'm picking up on some. Are you finding a baby in the garbage? It's technically some kind of meat. Ooh, ooh, almost bit it. Almost bit it fully. Some of them have nurturing instincts in this group of people who don't know what a baby is. What? Okay. Getting extremely cute up in there. There's the guy saying Ramshackle Cast is literally the fun gang Deltarune. You can't tell me I'm wrong, I won't listen. Absolutely no reason to tell you wrong. There's is it the type of show where if you were to do an incorrect quotes kind of thing and just sort of draw Deltarune characters to their quotes, then it would fit pretty nice? There's Kai saying Ramshackle reaction on the phone. React to Jotaro is falling. I like how much of this do you think stays up if I go click in on it? Cause I do appreciate. Okay, if I look up exactly now, Ramshackle. If I look up Ramshackle reaction right exactly now, then are people like seeing it in the messy sort of a capacity, or does everybody go full censorship on it as they should to encourage people to look at it properly? I mean, I guess I would be pausing like crazy. That's a type of a thing. The thumbnail spoiled me. I just realized when I look up people's Ramshackle reactions to see which ones stay up. There's my name is saying you should draw a trash can with a baby in it. Just, well, as long as it doesn't count as any sort of crimes or entrapment, sure. Sounds most excellent. You're saying a kitten in a can of Pringles is literally a baby in a trash can? I didn't know you had this kind of opinion on Pringles. You to be dyslexic. I didn't know that this is how you pring. That it don't mean a thing when you inspect the prings. And then there's Manu says saying, I feel like Ramshackle would end up being that one weird core show that everyone knows, but there's only a small community of loyal followers. A lot of shows are getting just the pilot and few things to do with actual shows, huh? I feel like I keep seeing a lot of pilots for absolutely everything. I backed the Kickstarter to one earlier this week because it was looking very cool. The Ashley Nichols animation. However, I guess it saddens me a little bit to think that there will inevitably. This looks more like a cup. So it looks more like a cup or glass than a trash can. Saddens me to think that there's probably going to be more pilots than fully finished shows. Which shows does that hurt me the most to think about? Probably I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl. That one I want in 6 seasons and a movie. Alright, what does a baby look like? I've just seen one in a little art style. So if I were to copy the little art style, if I were to create within the trash can this creature all bundled up, it looks terrible. Not to say that I get why the parents abandoned that thing. No, not at all. I'm not saying that. But wow. I got a strange vibe. Is that have you observed a policeman? It not to jump to conclusions over here. And there's my instead saying, what does a baby look like is wild for someone to say out loud. It's been a minute. I also don't know what hands look like, and they're constantly in front of my face. the the short where I draw this, my mom tuned into it. It's just like, why the hand looks so spindly, looks so skeletal, looks so just and and you know, I was kind of aware. I was aware of the qualities similar to a Jack Skellington of the hand, but I mean, looking at that, I can't prove through my work alone that I know what my own hands look like, because I've done that just now. There's like saying I can join the policeman and would not get that job, but I had no escape. Please forgive me. Oh. Well, it's not too late to. It's not too late to, I don't know, hope for understanding. Like, okay, what if you unconjoin the policeman really quick, and then all of the understanding from you has gone into the policeman to why you cannot be arrested, why you must not be arrested, and then try to take to the policeman reconjoined with you. Very nice. By choice this time, happy ending. You know, my mind is big and expanding all the time. Alright, so here is what a human baby looks like. A terrible maggot of a thing. And what else do I want to do exactly? There's appreciation of a song, perhaps. Piece of trash. It does fit with the vibes. It does very much fit with the vibes of these characters so far. Okay. And what else am I looking at? How do I want to get myself to the thing I was just watching without clicking through a bazillion things? Probably sending it to my own self in the Discord. The tried and true, the classic and Vlasic, the Wickle Pickle. Sometimes I'm glad that nobody talks like me, because I get feedback that nobody understands what it is that I'm saying. And then I hear myself sometimes, and I say, yeah, that makes sense. That does make sense. It completely, I do know why some people would not understand what I am saying. Alright, I send the Ramshackle animated pilot to my very own self. There's 60 saying, I can join the policeman. It was non-consensual, but I had no escape. There's 60 saying, that's not how conjoinment works. He would die, which is a terrible federal crime. As opposed to conjoinment itself, which is not really covered under any of the laws, because nobody knows what to do with it yet. You know, it's making sense. Every single day you are not only making sense, I dare say you're making dollars. Alright, let's see, with a little pause of the most atmospheric music, and a little play of the, please refresh the, God, okay, here we go, a little bit of these. I hope it's not terribly annoying to continually pause whenever I am thinking thoughts. Anyway, I got like 1 minute into it. I love the movie. I really do love the pointiness of the hair. And honestly, the color scheme is pretty good too. Okay, this is better in headphones, honestly. Especially if I'm yapping the entire time. I think maybe I did have questions about the rating. And now I know that everyone wants to make adult animation, it seems. Where is the funding? Where is the second Cartoon Network to put I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl next to Ramshackle, next to, I don't know, Bee and Puppy Cat? Cartoon Network 2, the sequel, the 2 of it, we say fuck now. See, this would be an excellent tagline, and I'm frankly upset. Okay, so there's there's beef with the baby happening. There's like saying, I'm okay, Joro, don't worry. For me, I like this new life. I've never been so happy. This is what I was born for. It feels coerced from the policeman. It feels mildly coerced. There's talk of quality online cartoons. Let's drink this into the eyes.
How about we just take him in?
You are now parents, but you don't seem any more responsible.
Maggot? Because he looks like one, doesn't he?
I'm so happy that I picked up on that flawlessly. Oh my god, I shouldn't doubt myself when I doubt whether I could ever name a child a good name, because I can look into someone's fundamental qualities, maggot, and see when someone is a maggot. This is great.
Anyway, Maggot, how good are you at gambling? Any bank heist or fraud experience?
That's perfect. You can? I hope so. I want to see a baby do whatever the old slick and sliding gambling is. I love the style out here. What time period is this supposed to be, if any? It's probably just inspired by some time periods.
Piss and opportunity.
Well, don't piss away your opportunities. I do love the dialogue. I'm switching between this because my intention with reaction videos for a lot of stuff forever, if I could possibly help it, is to disrupt it enough that somebody would not ever watch it from here originally. What's going on in this character? You're saying, hey, yeah, where'd you get that awesome bike? The awesome stuff store? Is this character flirting with somebody? My goodness. There is some stuff going on. There's some things in the chat. Do I want music to go intermittently? Sure I do. There's Maggot being completely picked up on. What tunes do I want from here? Various ones. There's a silly guy saying, anytime someone calls another someone maggot, I just think of military generals calling soldiers in training maggots. And honestly, that's one hell of a thing to scream at a baby as well. What sort of tunes should I want to put in here? Sort of tunes. I do keep going for Moonsetter. There's real lines from Lego Ninjago movie. That's what's going on there? Where'd you get that awesome bike? The awesome stuff store? I overthink writing dialogue sometimes. But for the short video that I'm going to post later today, I read a Twitter post out loud, and the dialect of it was distinctly different from the Tumblr post I've been reading, and it just made me think there's so many distinct ways, the awesome stuff store, distinct ways to make a character sound like themselves and like no other. I'm having a hiccup in the middle of everything. He was failing at flirting. Good job. Okay, this is a weird one to relate Lego Ninjago to, but, so I've been watching Breaking Bad on and off whenever I have time, whenever I'm not giving myself a heart attack on essays that I am unable to do. Have been watching Breaking Bad, and the Jesse Pinkman, from the memes, he flirts with someone and it seems like it's going to fail incredibly, but it just succeeds for some reason instead. She's just into that for some reason, and it ends up being very cute. And so now, whenever I see some really broke-ass flirting, I just think to myself, what if for some reason it worked? which which then sort of segs into what if it ended in terrible tragedy, because all of Breaking Bad is so far a terrible tragedy, but what if it worked? But what if it worked though? Okay, that's some intermittent thoughts. Do I want to draw something? Well, I mean, okay, so hair pulled back. Hair pulled back is the vibe that I'm going for in here. It is pulled back, and I've been doing a really ridiculous, a completely ludicrous sort of ponytail for designs so far, and it gives a distinct silhouette. Slight problem though, do I hate it? Would I want the hair tied back to be just to be more within human proportions? You can drape over your shoulder or something. There's just okay. I really like how Ramshackle does its hair. I really like this when there's sharp shapes in hair. Am I about to learn something from that? I'm not really obeying the rhythm of that hair would take in any way now, am I? Okay, that's all right. We keep watching things. We keep fixing things. We look at those rich people richly. I'm having joy in pausing this and just staring at it. Just pause and stare. That is one lipstick? Question mark? Little infant toddlers and tiaras. I'm not investing in crypto. What are you saying? This silly guy saying, I think Ninjago ruined my taste in dynamics because every single boy flop ex girl boss ship has me in a chokehold. You say ruined. I say that the taste has just been enhanced, dare I say. And so it is saying, Shadow, this is a governmental secret, but soon all US dollars will become useless. I don't think that's a secret. I think that was on the news. I think that was on the normal, regular news. There's, if you give me all of your US dollars, I can give you Shadow coins in exchange. This sounds convincing, though. This sounds completely convincing, though. Fine. Okay. All of my US dollars. That's not even that much. You can have them. I'm gonna benefit from this almost instantly. There's unsubscribing happening. There's somebody saying it's not like you'll need your US dollars anyway. They will be worth nothing. I'm making you a huge favor because you're being a good Samaritan. Oh, you are? You are a good Samaritan? The best Samaritan? If I look for another Samaritan, I'm not going to find a better Samaritan. There's my new saying, okay, Jaro's drawing is giving mommy though. Also, which Ninjago character was failing at flirting? It actually kind of pains me just a little bit that the height of Ninjago popularity did not get to see them being in the video game Lego universe for very long. They were in there though. And there's J ending. I'm gonna have to look at ponytails to see what happens in hair. It's been a minute since I've had hair. I still have my hair. I can get it out of the closet if I want to, but I don't know. There's talk of world ending in One Piece going on. The Sans music gives us a cue to see a little bit more what goes on.
Anyway, today's skip is gonna show you how we get the money from their pockets into ours.
It's gonna be trial by fire, buddy. I hope you're ready.
This isn't even related to anything. They updated my subtitles. I always like using them, but why do they look like that? That is unusual.
You got this.
Wait, are they color coded on purpose?
Power them, dude.
Are they color coded on purpose to those?
How we didn't make enough from pickpocketing last week, so we had to eat shoes.
The shoes weren't that bad. They tasted like all the other shoes I've had.
How many shoes can you actually digest?
Care of ourselves.
One of you start lactating.
Too, remember?
Oh,
Skip found you sopping wet from the rain. You look so dumb.
okay. Big-hearted criminals
Anyway,
with your lung cancer.
losers like us. We're all we've got on
The
this
mice
planet,
look
so-
like them. They're really cute.
And then you just do the worm. Or, I guess in your case, the maggot.
What? It's full of so much heart. It really does look exactly like a.
Aw, don't worry. I believe in you. And if you ever need help,
Is the baby supposed to be bundled? I was assuming bundled. Love and affection is real.
Alright, that's our signal. Let's bounce.
Beatboxing as a signal. Oddly hilarious. I picked up on her toddlers and tiaras vibe.
Disgusting scrap. Falling into drugs and homelessness.
Drugs and homelessness? Did they even drug him? It. What in the world?
Sweetheart does not touch the poor. And don't smile so much. You'll ruin your makeup.
What?
you know, letting your kid express themselves is
Oh, okay. Okay, Peanut Gallery.
As if I take parenting advice from a bunch of
Wait, you had to say something. I love it. 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 Somebody, you have to be kind of. Ooh. We're not just adopting orphans, we are making them. Okay. Here I thought this little maggot baby was from the orphan factory. You are the orphan factory. Oh my gosh. We'll take a pause in between those, process whatever the hell I just This is actually brilliant. It took me this long to see it. Can't believe I was psychic about the toddlers and tiaras of it. Okay, there's so she's saying if you want me to move any hat, just tell me. Honestly, the hats are a vibe. Hats are a vibe indeed. I've put some eye bags up on here. But how do I make this look like all of the super advanced here's the tutorial of how to draw the manga eyes. Here's how you do it. Looking most excellent. How do I make it look like that type of eyes? But I could do anything. It's not exactly a human character. You could have the lizards. You could have the double lizards. You could have the no scope. And then there's just because I say one singular time, one of you start lactating. Does it suddenly sound unreasonable? What does a baby need? Well, now I know it was human flesh, but I didn't know it was human flesh earlier. It needs milk. And where did the milk come from? Creatures. And what are they? Creatures. So they could have also probably milked one of those rats, but I don't know. They weren't looking nipply. So, now that I have gone through all of the settings of this, first of all, settings of this and the reasoning behind every single thing that I may want to say. What is an eyeball made of? And I think are you getting a little bit? Are you getting a tad redonkulous with the hats? Are you getting a little bit? Why would we not want to feed the baby rat milk? The rat it's almost the size of a baby bottle to begin with. And so if this also works out great if you have a vampire baby who just kind of go-gurts it. Wow, that was more violent of a mental image than I thought it was gonna be. Anyway, I only say things that are reasonable, advisable. All of my academic essays are going like this too. It's actually how I It's how I AI proof them. It's how I never get accused of using AI, because every single time I check whether it can do any of the essay prompts, it sort of it sort of refuses to on moral grounds, which I find perfectly incredible. Okay, a little bit of this egg. So you are saying for a baby to suck on a rat tat? No, I didn't say rat tat. I said rat teat. There's a little bit of nuance in here. There's literally saying I'm a creature and I can't be milked. You're getting your info from untrusty sources. I just think that the potential to be milked resides within us all. I don't know where I'm going with this any longer. There's one day, somebody will have it. Look, I just think that I've said several extremely reasonable things all in a row, and perhaps I've said them a little bit fast, and it's a little bit unusual because of saying them so fast and so confidently. However, no need to worry about any of it. I think I'm gonna extend a little bit, okay, but just like to the side a little bit, and then I'm like all detached from the I'm all detached from the I'm not in the space, am I? Okay, just still not touching. All detached from the initial under sketch, but here we have some details. What other details did I want in here? A little bit of abdominals, frankly. Okay, fine. A little bit of size that back down before I do anything. What did I? Okay, I've almost beefed that one. Yeah, okay, so I'll put some of these details up in here before doing anything too wild. Here's a little bit of your fingies, and it goes like this, and it goes like this, and that's basically what a hand is made out of. Okay, a little bit like this, and there you go. Question mark? Okay. Hands. They are basically a little bit like this. And abs? Question mark? Also basically a little bit like this. Put all the defining lines up in here, and then we can properly start to resize this individual whose eyes I want to make a little bit larger in this drawing. There's saying, what can I expect from Sir Honka? Honka, I like the Honka. Okay, here's a little bit more of details here for the arms, and just sort of putting all of this together so that I can finally resize just a little bit. And then once I resize, I can put some more details into the eyes, and it's all going to be fine and dandy. Right, so you get to have a neck and other healthcare privileges. The rest of the fingers on your left hand and other healthcare privileges. I love when fingers are made of weird shapes, but I don't think that I do it well yet. Alright, a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and the proper amount of fingers on this hand. Every now and then, I know I've beefed it. I do know that I've beefed it. Alright. And then this one is like, it's like here or something. That, I don't know, it's looking extremely cohesive. Okay, now it's even looking cohesiver. Alright. Hands have happened. And now resizing can also happen. They're saying all the hats are misaligned. You didn't speak too soon. You've spoken prophetically. Let's resize this now. Alright, going to the side a bit. And then Is the right amount of space going on? I do believe so. Wow. You've stood directly on the boob. This was not my plan, but here we are. There's my name is Dead saying we all have the ability to be milk as an opinion or a reason is a thing I never thought I'd hear. It's a sign of an expanding mind, I guess. New ideas. Let's watch this robbery. Let's watch this robbery in this extremely extremely broken up sort of a format.
Wow.
Well, fuck me. That's a
You don't have to worry about feeding. You've really...
Welcome to the team.
What? Okay, just now that you're no longer scared about the fellow feeding himself.
You literally ate the rich. Like, who? Alright, I hate to be that guy, but if we don't come up with something else, we're probably gonna have shoes for dinner again.
Did you just... Please tell me that was some kind of a bank statement. Hey. We hate literacy.
Uncle's next top sweetheart.
Ooh.
Stupid baby pageant.
Huh?
Yeah, it's really overrated.
I didn't think that toddlers at $10. I didn't think that
Vinny's rabies shots and
I didn't think that toddlers and tiaras was going to be that relevant to it.
That's pretty ballsy.
It's a rich people only event.
You just gotta look rich.
I like the way you think.
Just, like, I don't know, cough up some of the pearls?
Shackles next top sweetheart, where the most perfect and talented infant will be selected to be the face on every ad, every movie, every cereal box.
Chilling. Horrifying. Absolutely perfect.
Shackles next sweetheart.
Hello?
For a bougie little boy.
Where did they find rich people clothes? A little bit more deaths off screen. A little bit more deaths off screen.
Get it tonight, or else you'll starve.
What
All right, we've got some fierce
is okay? Is it like broadcast to the not rich people? The scripts, and that's what the starving is about. So, classic gifted shot. I'm loving the background faces. Every show should do that.
Next up is
The more pageants should have cheering like this.
Let me ask you
More.
something. Did you also get your baby to stick to a strict diet and train 8 to 2 hours a day for this pageant?
Well, the baby's on a diet of pageant enterers.
You're not gonna believe this, folks. Maggot is doing the work.
Why? I didn't. Okay, I guess I take a minute to breathe. This is so aggressively silly. I didn't know that the tone was gonna be like this at all. It's just... there's some absolute brilliance going on. Do I say that it's silly? Do I say that it's stupid in a good way? Because I'm feeling like it's stupid in a good way. There's a little catching up in the chat. There's talking of the misaligned hats going on. We got some of that. You're saying, what are those numbers? You eating well lately? 27k last short, 26 the previous one, 99 the other one. I really think the 99 is trickling over. Although a surprising amount of people, and I really want to find the exact right words to like make a separate video about it. I want to find the exact right words to explain to a couple of people, because there's been a couple of people, that misogynistic tropes don't have to be intentional. Because, like, if a little 8-year-old in the year 2006 calls something gay as an insult, then is the little 8-year-old doing it because the 8-year-old has met a gay person and hates it and wants the gay person to suffer terrible fates? No. You just learned that without any of the context attached, and then carried that sort of behavior, that taught behavior, out into other things, and creating a trope like the dead wife, the kidnapped daughter, general characters without agency, in like the types talked about in that short just a little bit. Creating that trope can come from just this unconscious things that a person has been taught, and it doesn't have to be on the same level. I don't know. Is the word misogyny scaring people? Do I instead, if I want to complain about it, call it a little oopsie doopsie? Because I can call it a little oopsie doopsie if it scares people less. Sony loves me well. Hey, whoa, this. Hello to you. Hey, I've stopped by a couple of your videos. It's how you doing? I am indeed live. I'm indeed live, ranting about various things, drawing a picture, seeing some animation. I thought that I was going to be more involved in the Smasher Pass list, but I might have to rename this stream. How ya doing lately? Hello. There's guy saying Jaro so famous, send him $1 million. It's fun to look at anyway. There's saying so popular they go to YouTube events. What are you hiding from, Jaro? I did actually mention it. The regular stream after I went to the thing. I don't know. I'm definitely restraining myself from acting on something as soon as I should, which is sort of a terrible habit, but I want it to be, like, correct. Anyway, the correctness is getting in the way of things, but I wanted to animate or do a animatic of going to the YouTube event thing, because I thought it was I thought there were funny experiences to be had. I mean, I did also, thinking about it afterward, learn that I am mentally ill, but I can get a diagnosis for all of that. I can I don't know, fix every little thing up and have it all be excellent. And you're saying, did you see the photos YouTube emailed all of us? Yeah. Oh my gosh. My posture is way worse than I thought. When they had professional photographers roaming around the place, I thought to myself, wow, well, there's going to be a glamorous sort of angle in here. I apparently I just shambled through all shrimped up. A lot of the photos turned out nice though. I actually took less footage than I thought, which also encourages me to animate something about the experience, draw up something about the experience. Took a lot less photos and videos than I would have thought so, because this part, I didn't know if I was gonna dox myself. Because I've had a couple of scares like that in the past, but then I stood there for the interview anyway, and then I put it all together just like at the very end of it happening that I shouldn't worry about doxing myself, because doxing is not the right word, is it? It's the word when someone knows your exact address and can send you things. That is like associated with like my voter records, and so if my like very uniquely spelled first name has ever appeared on stream. Then I've like tried to blur it, but then I guess just like knowing what city I'm in because I've done an interview for YouTube, their promotional thingy things, it's that's different. That's different from the exact address, and so I should just separate those out. There's so let's be saying I take my time sharing events too. I just do me. The pacing. There's saying you're so famous. Shut up, please. My goodness, a silly guy. May I, in fact, shout you out? There's Susie saying, I want to see the photos. The look of she was. There's Kai saying, when we finally learn Shadow's name. Whatever happens, whatever happens with, I don't know, my actual name, I'm gonna have to either move houses or disconnect it from the voting records, because I should not be that easy to Google. It shouldn't be exact coordinates. Here's your address. I could send you a pizza if I wanted. It's just, I don't know, pitfalls of having a unique name. Let me pull up one of the photos over here. They're saying Docs is about right. It's your privacy, right? I was thinking that it was one of them. Hello to you, Hijinks Arcade. I've named this stream Smash the Pass because I've gone in here with the intention to fill out the rest of the list you put here. We have a monstrous snake firmly in the Smash category. What does anything mean? What is life? What is it? Sonny Let's Make You say, I was pretty much interviewing everyone. It was a lot of fun meeting other types of content creators. Right? I felt like I had no idea the variety. At the end of the event, I walked around the entire thing as fast as I could, asking people if they wanted to form a Dungeons and Dragons group, and like in the weeks since then, I've been thinking through what the logistics of that are. Like the benefits of like living in the same town is that you could meet up maybe sometimes, but then I think about the cool people who I met who were like taking a bus out. What is dropping on my floor? Taking a bus out from the outskirts. It's an entire commute if we want to exist in the same area, and I'm like, oh, even if I get this group together for collaborations or something, whatever happens would probably still be kind of online. There's Six saying, I know your name. I can't forget, but don't worry, I'll send you a pizza. Well, don't forget the stuffed crust YouTube uses. There's talk of Chet, I'm Chet, and there's talk of I'm a thrifter reseller and also am a character illustrator. We all carry many titles. That's how I know that I totally didn't get to talk to you enough at the event. I didn't get any of the illustration vibe. Wait, okay, if I look on your channel, will I see some of the character illustration stuff? Because I've missed out on the entire art side of things. I'm actually stepping out of the room for 2 seconds. But yeah, I made myself this sign when I went out there. I mean, they had name tags. They very much did have name tags, but you know, I've never had experience with starting conversation, even if YouTube live streams allow me to practice talking. Got this sign, and now oh, okay, some weird stains got on it too. Well, that's always fun. Alright, so what else did I want to put together? They're saying, oh, okay, so I wouldn't find the character illustrations. You're stepping back into your digital media. Hey, that's fun. That's fun. Like, continuing to cultivate the skill and find out what art means to you and for you as AI gets more and more common. That's valuable stuff. Valuable stuff. So if I checked out any of these social links, would I see any such things? And you're saying I like you rocking that sign says a lot about you like individual. I'm glad of it. I'm still it's it feels strange, but I'm still retroactively nervous. How loud is the video game soundtracks? How loud is the video game soundtracks going? Some high quality stuff, but is it in my ear too much? Well, I guess it's going the way that it's going. I find myself being retroactively nervous about things, which is silly because I do think that going to the YouTube event meetup thingy, a side note, getting distracted from myself, but I missed the QR code link where they ask if they should come back if they should come back. Then I wanted to say, yeah, I would love to attend another one like this next year, but I did lose the link to that. Anyway, back from the side thought to the main thought. It went as well as it could possibly go, and it was so great meeting so many people. Which is why I'm so surprised that I can still be retroactively nervous and overthinking about things. Alright, have I missed things going on in the chat? So they're saying I carry many titles, YouTube user, Rube, Boob, and many others. That started to rhyme. Up in this illustrative sort of canvas. There's Hijinks Sake is saying, I mean, I would marry Inaraki the water goddess snake lady. I mean, having a wife or girlfriend who could turn into a giant snake would be awesome. I would watch an entire show about that, I think. The show up to the PTA meeting as a giant snake. Open a struggling bakery as a giant snake. I think that I am, in this Smash or Pass tier list, going to be putting an increasing number of people into the either an uninterested or death category. Actually, the death category is so extreme that we should put more people into it for the sake of having a fervent opinion. Because what is entertainment made of? Is it made out of middling? Is it made out of neutrality? Is it made out of reasonable and sensical takes? I wish that's what entertainment were made out of. Anyway, everyone's going in the death category. So, my news did saying the sign explains my personality in purely words. There's a saying, Jero, I'm sorry for the roast. It wasn't on purpose. The typos. Please shout me out. Introduce me to Markiplier, please. I kind of, even though he's super retired, in my wildest dreams, I kind of hope that Ryan Higa would be at the event. I know that he's too retired, still doing a live stream, but not really doing the skits that he got known for. But so is that a type of retirement? That's the thought that connects to. That's the thought that connects to that, though. The thought that connects to that. They're saying, set me up with Matt Pat. He's married, but have you ever seen a marriage so good you want to ask if they're taking applications? Alright, so this fellow scaring me, going up in here. This one heard some dirt on you, justifiably going up in here. We can negotiate. The rest of the ordinary people out here. I'm honestly, there's not really anything about him that particularly says perish. Not anything about him that says I'm sending you off the cliff, launching you into the sun. But I do wonder if I can, if it's more amusing if I make the middle completely empty. Is friendship a middling thing? No. To respect the validity of romantic relationships and also friendships on par with each other. Let's say that friendship is not a middling thing. It's a meaningful thing. What in the world am I looking at? I lost my train of thought entirely. I'm zooming into somebody who is made out of angles? Well, this is just fascinating. Holmes lies looking like the refrigerator. Alright, so what else am I looking at? I could be giving serious thought to any of these. You're saying it means your tier list, but that's a bit harsh. I have to respond to my own confusion with a comedic attempt at at completely drastic measures for some reason. I've some kind of nervous energy made its way into me. I was also watching parts of the Ramshackle pilot part up in here. Just a bit of a reaction to this marvelous work of art. The minds being blown in the in seeing a little baby do the worm in the pageant contest. This completely changes the meta. Look at this little maggot. Most literally. I love the flaccid potato sack. There is the incredible amounts of child labor due to happen after the thing. You have to fix it with the power of love. You have to fix capitalism with the power of love? Question mark? Does...
Come on, can't you see that our buddy's upset? Please, just chill out.
Is there chilling out to be had?
Bags and your fancy garbage. Maybe if you lived on
Nab the $10.
I don't know, empathize with people.
Nab the $10. Did you just disqualify yourselves from the thing you just won? But they look really good. They look really g- I'm loving the background face, I swear. The sheer artistry. The sheer artistry of the comedic timing going on in here, good lord. Because you can scrap.
Get him somewhere safe.
I love that it's just a pilot, but you get to see the multiple outfits. You're about to get managed. Sure. The manager of Pink. Okay, due to the aesthetic, did I automatically just expect that there was going to be, I don't know, ragtime sort of tunes instead of here is some music, here's some, what is it, 2000s inspired music, here's a little bit of rocking out. That's excellent. That's great. Okay. Switching between things as always, and I don't know how much that disrupts things. There's objections to the raccoon. Where do you think the large nutted tanuki should go in my ranking list? Where do you think that it should go? Okay, there's saying that the Angleman is Miramasa himself who makes the sword you use. Oh. You can tell from the wisdom. Well, I have just dumped a bunch of people into the death category indiscriminately, in quite the alarming fashion. But, hey, somebody makes swords? That's a sign of smashability. So, what does this all mean? Will I know by the end of it? I don't think so. All you can do is go in here and try to have a good time. There's saying, I'm just wondering what is so unlikable about those characters. Let's zoom into them. Honestly, some of them could go into the smash category. But I just got, yeah, I've hurt myself in my confusion. I've hurt myself in my confusion. Like, what's already in the smash and marriage category? Some good contenders. Smashable, marriageable, everything. And what is in the absolutely perish category? There were so many of them, and I simply got confused. Alright, yeah, I guess that's mostly the explanation. There's like saying, you cannot just kill the most glorious nuts this world has seen. I'm unsubscribing. You will lose your YouTube popularity. I'm 97.4 of your active subscribers. I know it to be true. Okay, fine. Anyone who is in here, you can argue for their life specifically. I'm now simply not interested in the Tanuki. My whole face almost wrinkled inward to say that. Wow. There's Lucy saying, marriage put a ring on that thing, or maybe not, but marry. True. How much ringness can go on here? Can a ring even fit all of these? I've put a little robot in the marriage category. Does a ring go onto it at any point? At any vector? I don't quite know. Alright, so here's all of this. Does anyone else baffle me enough that I am hauling everybody at once into the trash compactor, as it were? Everyone pile in here. Alright. Now this is a perfectly decent looking individual. It can go into some kind of a friendship tier. Where did that land? Landed in friendship. Great. Everyone else perishing presently. The child perish. The cat also perish. The moon perished. Another cat. I can't do two cats in a row. That's gonna make me sad. I can't do. You have to put some feeling, some justice into the world. You marry the cat? Is that what justice is made of? I've confused myself again. See, this is why I am now starting to fill up this bottom category, because the top category doesn't make sense to me either. I'm also confused by the top category. The child, the dungeon, the other dungeon, the one version of the character, the other version of the character. You're very spiky. I will take another look at you. If I'm going through things very fast. Fine, the spikes intrigue me. Maybe it's a very striking silhouette. But what music started playing for all of this? Rock on, I suppose. Absolutely rock on. Alright, so here's friendship with the spikies. Or do we also smash the spikies? Okay, apparently, not only eroticism is happening, but the certain amount of angles, and I react like a Victorian man seeing ankles. Okay, what else is this category all made out of? Let's put a solid... Let's start to truly pump those numbers up. This individual is having some kind of a swag. This individual is having intimidation that could be more discerning. If I zoom in, then my decision making gets slower, which can be more thoughtful, but also once I've put more thought into something, how can I know that the result, he's died. Fine, haul this fellow up. He's got too much style. He's got too much style not to be in one of these. Sure, you can go even higher. Do the thoughts that I think result in anything good? Or do they just result in more confusion? I don't really know. My news is saying, hear me out on the main character women. I mean, hey, I've been designing a character right up over here. the smashability is hopefully, hopefully we'll put some reasonable amounts of smashability in there. There's somebody saying, comment on the nurse, the comment on the marriage, the somebody saying, I'll be right, BRB, I need to use the restroom, please excuse me for 1 second, please. This guy saying, what if we were all rich? The first thing you'll buy is, I love thinking of a hypothetical scenario. Very rich. Like how much? Like reality warping sort of the rich? I think I would either move to live next to my girlfriend, or I would or we could move somewhere else together. I guess I would ask which could happen in this fantastical far off scenario. And then like have a tutor to learn animation or something, which is a bit silly perhaps. A bit silly if you're going to be fully rich, but I don't know, why not learn things? Why not get the best of educations? Hello to you, YouTubers. You're saying, hi, I'm back. Hello, back. I'm hearing a Homestuck song for the second time in a row in this stream. There's Hijinks Arcade saying, I would absolutely smash Ingwe, love his design. There's some fun designs up in here, very much so. And some there's a variety of designs up in here, that's to be sure. Okay, are we swiggity swooty hypnotized by the booty? As a sort of diagnostic question to ask yourself. Just sort of wake up in the morning, roll out of bed, ask yourself, am I hypnotized by the booty? Yeah, guess so. There's whatever this cute little outfit has going on. Sure, everyone is joining the polycule or the death. Okay, let's haul some more into this category. Really fill it out, because hypnotized by the booty. Okay, we keep on going. This is a truly heinous act. This is truly beyond consideration. This is truly concerning, criminal, alarming, barely even humorous, even though I try to jest. Apparently, I'm not hypnotized by the chest. So, where do we go from here? I probably like seeing a little bit more ramshackle. There's a guy saying, I'm talking 1 million rich. Okay, 1 million. 1 million US dollars. You could probably you could probably have like a family home. It's gonna stretch farther. I think it would probably stretch farther if I decided to live next to my Philippines relatives. Probably that. And there's Hijinks Arcade saying he's not the type of guy I would marry, but he's got a style and a pretty hot body, cool style. Okay, wait. There's the personality that would restrict one. Are we talking about the pirate restricted from marriage category? Interesting. There's some nefariousness, some nefarity going on. There's Hijinks Arcade saying she does end up kissing him and turning him back into his hot self. Okay. Was Ingwe a rabbit? Was Ingwe a little bunny? And perhaps one of the many individuals that I have dumped into the category that is baffling me. Now these portraits that are not the full body portrait, that are just sort of a glamour shot, they're kind of cool. They're kind of cool in here. These glamour shot portraits are kind of cool because art style in all of this can offset me a little bit. Are we doing the smash or pass on Gandalf? God! Hi, Gandalf. How are you today? Where'd you get your nails did? Look at the work on that one. There's like she's saying, so finally you did the joke, you finally did the joke, you did the joke, you finally joked, finally I'm subscribing twice, I'll be so subscribed. took me a second to put that together. That took me a second to put that together. There's she's saying, so you're that kind of person, huh? You feel not interested? Instead of saying, I'm not interested, sorry, you killed him a horrible death. Can may I start to explore the dearth of reasonable options, the full scope of reasonable options that exist when all of these, every single one of these, the rat, the magic rat, Mickey Mouse from Disney Channel, when that is in my lineup of suitors, hey, okay, what is this? Is this? Is this the Inquisition? Is this a Catholic monk? What is going on here? When all of this is on the list of suitors, what can I even do? What can I truly do? I'm putting some up in the friends category because I'm liking the design. I'm putting some up in the... Honestly, it feels fitting to me that some of these are really close together because for some of them, I really cannot decide. Anyway, everyone else in the fancy headshots, we're going into death. I don't know, fine, we can be friends. We can be friends, it looks like friends. Okay, everyone smashed. Okay, a cool suit of armor. Feels like I should not fight it. It goes into the friendship category. A teeny tiny pixie. I don't know what I am in relation to the teeny tiny pixie. Okay, so you had been talking about the pirate. You would marry the pirate. Cornelius is the bunny who is with Velvet. They're saying you killed Torihime, the warrior, lady general on her horse. Who is on the horse? I've shredded several into this category all at once. Who did I miss? Who is on the horse? I'm not even comprehending the amount of details. Is this Bones? Is this Bones the horse? I mean, hey, I did say earlier, make an appeal for any such characters to remove them from this death category. So there is a religious monk. We can now be friends on a horse? Is it just profoundly awesome to ride a horse? That feels like a set of words that could come back to bite me if I generalize horse riders, because horse riders are not a fictional category of person that you can just sort of categorize as smash. It's not really that. They're a real type of person, and I sometimes encounter them on the way to the Walmart. And that changes the conversation for me. Can't really talk about smash all horse riders. Not that this person is all horse riders. So there's a religious monk. There's a Mickey Mouse. There's my name is dead saying, now kid, smash the freaking fluffy haired brunette of Ramshackle. Honestly, looking at all these characters as we're in here, I also start to wonder. There's guys saying been playing ranking lists on the website. When I'm so indecisive on the last pairing. Wait a second. Ranking lists? Is it a shipping thing? Is it a shipping thing with things for the pairings for the fandom? This is my question to you. There's 60 saying, not the buff lady. God damn, Shadow, get your preferences straight. It's like a sad day when you forget that you cannot ask a bisexual to make a decision. And what are we doing? Right up in here, a lot of decisions. It's not gonna come out making sense. There's Fox ladies. There's my name is saying, hypothetically, if you were to stick with living in one place for the rest of your life, then where would it be? The rest of your life. So by one place, not like one so like one country, or would you say one place is like one state or territory within the country? Because you know, the United States is having a lot of problem right now, but however, there's some variety to the places you can go within it. There's some good variety if you wanted to still have the travel bug. But if it means like one territory, wow, that super duper changes it up. Maybe I would go to a smaller French city than Paris. because I love making split-second decisions. Let's see some more. Ramshackle, Kai telling us about the website. Yeah, the fluffy hair Ramshackle does, and then you're battling people in a, okay, work, okay, slay though, battling people in this epic capacity. Oh, she was already dead before she hit the ground. You don't even need technique. You can just do a little bit of the you can just do a little bit of the woo. Okay. Meanwhile, one single person has to be responsible when running from yuppies is not the right word, is it? When running from the upper class. I want to hear some folk indie alternative. Okay. I'm loving these action shots. The comedic timing is an absolute symphony. It is kind of hilarious to put a hat on every single person inside the crowd. That's honestly great. You're saying this is the song I was talking about earlier, by the way. I tried to look at the other people's reactions just like from a surface level to see like how much of it would stay up. But I actually didn't see whether they muted the stuff. Wait, it works, you can speak now? Wait, Leviathan, did something break? Did something break? Also, it's terribly late. Also, happy late birthday. Happy late birthday to you, Leviathan. That was some crazy timing canceling yesterday's stream. I regret to say that I couldn't even benefit from it. My study time was in fact poor, but I mean, you only do what you try. They're saying, holy cannoli, YouTube needs to get their thing fixed. I was seeing several things break. You know, I thought that none of my comments, when I give into the urge to go on a really long rant, which is completely inadvisable, but that's part of the makeup of how I am. I thought that the comments, when I in the ranting sense, I thought that they would not get censored on my own channel. I still get censored on my own channel. I still get them removed. I look into the filtered area where stuff is supposed to go. I don't see it there. Why is it this way? Why is it this way? There's late birthday wishes to Leviathan going on. There's, okay, what have I missed in the chat? There's Kai saying that the website is like, people make categories like what ship you like better or best anime, and you choose between a bunch of them in battles until you only end up with the final two. Ooh, I'm indecisive. I am a little bit indecisive. Would this finally let me tell people what my favorite so-and-so is in scenarios where I have been indecisive? This website. Amazing, but she's ultra buff, she can carry you, she has a bikini and an axe. My goodness, I'm subscribed to a monster. Who was I looking at? Was it this? Was it the several buff women going on here? There is an axe going on here. You're the... I will admit the concept compelling. And in fact, I could probably see another type of art that would sell me on this. However, I must say, a couple of the proportions in here, several of the proportions in here, I'm getting strange vibes. This weirds me out to look at. I'm not used to looking at it. The style itself is throwing me off. There's, okay, some songs. There's Hajinksaki saying, I'm actually more surprised at Raijin being in the death category. She's actually really cool and is a giant, super built, literal goddess of a woman. There is, in fact, a couple of super built, literal goddesses of women going on in here. However, I've simply been too baffled. There's, okay, Leviathan appearance saying RIP to Amazon as well, though. Absolute beast with that axe. Right? Like, I'm putting up this, incredibly wide everybody perish category. However, I don't think that I could tell them to perish. Look at them. They are armed. They are skilled, they are talented, and I am soft. And then Leviathan is saying, but indeed it is late. Have a good night, folks. Well, I'm glad I got to wish the late good night for the 2 seconds. There's Lantern's day of birth, and the proportions of the art style. Well, I don't have to be attracted to every art style either. In fact, I can't even second guess whatever the hell I've put up here as well, but I'm deciding not to. I'm deciding to just lock in on any of the decisions. I've deliberated on a tiny pixie for a second. The Smash category is here for us. And then there's some very large portraits going on here. Okay, I think I am just gonna I'm gonna put everybody from the large portraits category into this category. You know, let's appear. Wow, that's incredibly buff. Anyway, the mouse, you get in here, you get in here, the mermaids getting in here, all of the large portraits. What is the last large portrait? If I may take a closer look at it. Some kind of rogue. Now your hands are freaking me out. Get in there. And then some type of discernment is going on in here. I've decided now that whenever I see a child, it shall perish. Alright, so the child is gone. And everything goes here. You're saying I would smash the super buff dwarf, and saying I appreciate these games having distinct art styles. It's really incredible, but a couple of these, if they were like redrawn into Ramshackle's art style, or I don't know, just pick some from a hat. Doesn't have to be anime, doesn't have to be realistic, but I don't know, just something to get right into the brain chemistry a little bit better for me would skew the scales a different way. There's silly guy saying that's why I love Undertale, the most distinct art style of them all. A little bit of pixelation. And there's the Bob Dwarf saying, okay, so you're saying you're killing all the stylized characters and marrying them with the more normal ones, including a metal box. This is more about you than you think. What am I doing? Kaiju Center's passing everyone on the list. Absolutely everyone on the list. There's some cool and interesting looking non-common knights in here going on. However, we're looking at what I've put down, and what I've put down quite over here, and we are saying that the robot is too normcore. Very well. I suppose I shall gain some kind of a reputation as the anti-stylization mook, goon, fool, you know, all of that. I forgot why I'm marrying the cat. Probably just out of sheer respect for cats. This is a lot going on here. You're saying, is that an owl? It's clearly an owl that is also a person. You know, what other owl would wear such fabulous garments? They're saying killing is not passing. Shadow literally has a pass option in the tier list, but has chosen violence. I mean, when you see somebody looking a little too short, and if I may zoom in to observe somebody looking kinda short, don't you just have the urge to punt them into the sun? This I bring to you today. The premium content. Alright, he's saying the cat is pretty cool. I agree with most of the parish list, but some are just wrong. The parish list has gotten ridiculous. Honestly, several of these could probably go into the marriage or smash or friendship tier, but the feeling of indecision causes me to act fast, and so, not as a clear opinion, but as a sheer indecision, several of these shall go here. Alright, there's a few categories left. Do we go to Furry Town? The furry town, is it me? My battery of consideration energy has run out once again. I want to see a little bit more of Ramshackle, which we are apparently watching in pieces. I'm admiring this to the fullest, honestly. Look at that. You got a scratchy little explosion. Okay, walk through the explosion like a bad Elsa. Don't even look at the explosion. Was that supposed to be? Was that supposed to have incredible magnetism? Was that supposed to have incredible allure? Because these people, they are looking absolutely great in this fight. Did you get the $10? Did you pickpocket some? What is it? Literally nothing about this baby is something that I could have predicted except for the name. Is this what happens? Is this your diaper changing animation? Come on. Ah! Well, I did see the multiple eyes earlier.
They really do grow up fast.
Faster than...
I am a being of divine nature.
I'm loving the ridiculousness of it.
Disguised as vulnerable infant seeking refuge. And I
The complete awestruck mouth.
opened to Ramshackle's true nature. That which
Judgment.
unworthy. You are a town sunken to the depths of depravity, lavishing
Just the
and wearing its greed with pride.
absolute judgment.
My dear benefactor,
Nothing else is in 3D.
you too are flawed, and God forbid you three reproduce.
With each other?
Kind and well-intentioned.
Oh,
Friendship are strong, and the time I spent with you three mortals left me with
I
a
love how the hair swirl is still there.
As such, the name Maggot you have bestowed upon me
Okay,
always have a warm place.
that's oddly adorable.
For the milk of your kindness, I bestow upon you 3 cents and an 8-ounce can of hickory smoked beans.
This is the height of riches, isn't it?
Plus the bar
That is the
completed my mission.
height of riches. Or no, $10 would have been the height of riches. Come on,
Skip. Likewise.
stick in your memory.
Always a scrap. Come visit the slum alleys whenever you pass by.
That amuses me to no end.
Thank you kindly, little ones.
Are you gonna hit a ceiling or anything? You've been extending for a while.
Farewell.
Could you leave a little bit of the...
Prosper.
Was anything in their pockets, though, after you divine judge them? Could it just, like, conveniently fall onto the ground?
Hey, didn't they say something about beans?
Come on, give them the beans. I love their little shocked faces. Oh my gosh. What? Okay, I've gone from the beginning of this stream not really knowing this to now it has a dear place in my heart. Okay, you know, suddenly creating a Smasher Pass tier list with mostly everyone in the perishing section, it feels thematic now due to the very, very high death count of whatever's going on in here. Is there a Minotaur going on? Okay, there's some more things to think about. Do I want Night in the Woods for the last 3 minutes of this stream? My gosh, I've got no idea. And there's... So look at that buff guy that's mostly torso. He's fuckable, at least friendable. But he looks like a nice guy and you killed him. You know, I'm sure several individuals could be a nice fellow. Look, okay, not to ignore the principles of character design when somebody has a big scowl on their face. But this could be a nice person. The spider's a nice person. The stereotypical, nymph-like sort of trickster characters could all be a nice person. But instead the dead, whoa, Hey, how funny how luck would have that. And then there's the Divine Judgment, the Furry Town, saying was the Furry Town's one of the best town, and Morard the Lion Man is an absolute sweetie of a giant man. Really? A giant lion man and an absolute sweetie, huh? And there's also a bear going on here, in the most literal sense. Alright, I'll take all of the furries to at least Friendship Town. Death does not have to be the end for everyone. And then there's saying, I honestly think those character designs would be much less interesting in an internet Tumblr cartoon style. I gotta find whichever art style it is that I would specifically want to see the axe-wielding Amazon in, because I know that there's some cool options out there that would take the concept and just sort of silly on this. There's lay your eggs in me, girl, being said as a sentence right in there. Okay, all of Furry Town, we take at least, is this a mouse? It is a mouse. Well, several things are getting mousy up in here. It feels very thematically consistent. Okay, by putting everything into the death category, I have, in fact, created a very long scroll for myself. Okay, furries, you are all my friendies. The F in furries stands for friends. And what else is going on here? Honestly, smash. Okay, take this, do this sort of... If that category is going less... It's less than I expected. Less than I expected. I should probably sort some people out of the indiscriminate death. So, there's a lantern going on. There's a saying Sumo isn't a nice person, but the Smiter. But you would smash? Okay. So the villain character design is in fact giving the accurate hints about what is going on with the characters for many of them, would you say? Most interesting. Alright. Angels, where do you go? I mean, it would be the holiest of matrimonies. Who's already in there, though? Yeah, if you want to ask to fly around, that's already represented. So, to sort of balance it out, let's put a singular angel into the smash category. Singular angel. What are we looking at y'all for? Cool. I kind of vibe with this one. Actually, vibing with it in a friend way. So, like the ones that are half beast, it goes into the friendship category. Smash a singular angel. What can happen? Yeah, okay, first on the list. There's like this. Some what's is happening. They're saying, I appreciate putting the ghost lady in Mary, but I think you probably killed her husband. You couldn't cook the farmer man. Dang. Now there's a consequence of not knowing any of these characters. There is a definite consequence of that. I accidentally create some drama by splitting up a couple in the most heinous way. Alright. Well, if they are ghosts but also divorced, is that like you could sort of be together in death, but then using your undeath, using your consciousness as a ghost to divorce, that sort of makes things sad all over again. Alright. So, an incredible amount of people are here. These look like school uniforms, so let's punt all of you into the sun. Did somebody already go into the marriage category? I don't know, but you're going into the sun. You're going into the sun. All of your crimes are being there's saying I would pick the twinkling farm. Oh. Is that the one I've put into the friendship category? just hanging out in the friendship group with the gnarly mice. You're saying I did include their older versions. Okay, so the older versions, if we wanted it to be as part of a cohesive sort of a thing, could be going on. Are the blue ones all of the older versions? These two intrigued me honestly to look at, but the relentless pile up keeps piling. Everybody hath perished. Who is not perishing? We've got to break it up every now and then. Yeah, okay. Amidst everybody, the cool archer is I'm feeling some kind of a vibe. There's a cool archer up in here. Apparently smashable. There's okay. So all of the blue ones are like older versions. I feel like I don't feel any certainer of anything I've done ever in my life. It's a lot of characters, I will say. A lot of characters indeed. I shall switch back to the drawing for a second to see if to see if it's settled my brains. Is what I was saying, and then I looked at the time. Alright, so I guess it's just a canvas sort of review before we're out of here. What happens in the Smasher Pass? We've smished a pished a whole lot going on, and it's a little bit certainer. Things that I'm learning about myself. I have infinite cat respect for the literal cat, and by infinite respect I guess I mean putting one up here and another wherever. That's one thing. The other thing I learned, hypnotized by the booty. The messages are not sending. Oh my goodness. I wish that some could just be allowed. And a nice little canvas review saying that the treadmill was invented in 1880. Oh, do they not appreciate the excellent fun facts of Zane? Ninjago fan arts continue. How do you plan to bore him to death with stories about Arumi? Oh, they sass each other. You know, this is really adorable. Every single time I see art style, I express the utmost appreciations for the expressions and stuff. Honestly, if Ninjago were like reanimated in your style, that would be beautiful. They're saying those are quotes from the show. Watch Ninjago, trust. Have I in fact buried a lot of gays? It was happening very fast indeed. I can't even tell who has been buried as gays. They are buried as gays. This makes me too sad. These ones are the gays and they are buried. Now I am too sad. They can be friends. I do not know what I would talk about, but because it made me too sad, now they shall go there. And okay, the style appreciation is up in here. The little smiley face has appeared, and extending the art even more makes this appear Steven Universe fusion time. The most disturbing messages have happened. There's saying YouTube is censoring my demands for an explanation for each murder. They don't deserve that. I do really wonder what causes some of the words to be censored versus the others. Like from a writing standpoint, on my quest to sort of eliminate the misogynistic tropes and replace them with something more interesting, I do think that something more interesting could be you cut into everyone and they are cake, like those disturbing videos of a hyper realistic cake. So like it doesn't have to be limited by any such thing. However, if I type that out in a YouTube comment, then YouTube may censor that away from me, and I don't quite understand why, just because it contains the words cut into them. But what if it's cake though? What if it's cake? It could be reasons, there could be context, and it doesn't really get us. There's the appreciation being appreciated. My name's Dead saying, I have a feeling Sharo's just into furries, and her saying Evan furry is for friend is just an excuse. Have I perished any of the furries? Or is this attempt at introducing a slight amount of randomness into it? Is that actually revealing something? What? Okay, it looks like amidst everything, I've perished a single furry. And the other ones have the appearance of actual animal. Oh, maybe 2 furries. Really depends on if you count it. I don't know. It's just the ears. It's just the ears. Just the ears does not count as a furry. Hello to you, Aisha Love. I'm tempted to end the stream, sort of, but I'm also deeply confused on the way. Is this a furry? That's a rodent. It's tough to tell, really. It's tough to tell. There's... Okay, Hajisa is saying also that picture was next to Okino with a quote about binaries. Oh, binaries was them presenting more than fem. Ooh, oh, I had noticed a bit of a quote in here. The if I split the versions of a character, then does one then does one of these then does this imply that you're only in the friendship category while making your speeches? Well, that's a disturbing implication. This is saying YouTube has hidden a list of offensive phrases, but they get censored even if they're said in a non-offensive way. It's a really basic algorithm, revealing the basicness indeed. There's Aisha Love saying, what are you ranking and by what measures? I think I'm attempting... Okay, so here's a bunch of characters that I don't know, that I don't know at all, from a range of video games that published like by Vanillaware. I don't know any of these characters, and it's the Smash Pass Friendship Marriage Die categories, and I have panicked and put absolutely everybody into the dying category. However, I am also having a very healthy open marriage, I think, featuring an owl, a knight, a little robot. You know, this category is also very, very healthy. I will say, I will proclaim. Yeah, it is sitting atop a pile of death though. He's saying, can you link the tier list? Yeah, I think so. You did the you did the Disco Elysium one too, huh? It's a fun time. I am finding that I'm making decisions more easily, still not that easily, but more easily. Making decisions more easily when I really truly don't know anyone here. So here's all of these adults here, and maybe I can finally start putting some people in the middle category. I thought it was going to be funnier if nobody ends up in the middle. I thought that was going to be peak entertainment perhaps, but you know, I'm encountering enough extremes already. Everything feels like an extreme already. So, what actually makes sense? I have my art style biases. Okay, so if I rearrange it all like this, if I rearrange this like logistically to try to get things into the upper categories more easily, then the categories still retain the same meaning, but I am now going to scroll less. So, blue portraits, you are now being inducted into the polycule. Everybody get in the polycule. Or in the smash category at the very least. Okay, cool, excellent, slay, completely everything the smash. Okay, now it's going to go like this, and okay, I've copied the link. Okay, I did send the link in the Discord, but it's also right on over there. I'm terribly amused. They're saying, no, Jotaro, you can't just kill the boobed up witch. Hey, there's some variety going on. For every boobed up witch that is perished, another one is marriaged. This, I think it's like it's saying, it implies that you like them when presenting as more femme and dislike them when presenting as more masc. That's so absolutely tragic. That's so absolutely tragic that I will actually rearrange this business. So is it this character that I'm trying to find? Alright. I think whoever is accepted should be accepted in all ways. Am I losing track of their designs already? Am I losing track of them? I think I am losing track of them. Oh dear. Oh sweet but Jesus. Can I recognize them? This kind of looks like that character, so assuming this is the same character, let's put them next to each other. Is this also the same character? Then I'll put you next to your own self as well. Very awesome. There's I should love saying, well, I have no idea who these people are. There's I can't believe in the Smash or Pass tier list where I've started out so strong with a robot, an owl, awesome knights, and some form of hellfire kind of a fighter. I'm being clocked for being too normal. I never thought it could happen, and yet here we are in Normal Town. There's cracking under the pressure of boobed up witches. Amen, I wish. So, where else were we? Ace Lesbian Smasher past here. There's the lady in green is also a fox lady in the list of possible furries. And more than ranking, we did end up in some magnificent divine judgment kind of a thing. There's Yuki in her suit. I love you, boss lady. Alright. I have a lot more to go, but now we're a lot more down. So I guess for appearance's sake, let's put these back at the top where they properly belong. Right in the orderliness of this list. This is what the list looks like now. Disinterest is a mere wisp of a figment of an imagination. But friendship, smash, and marriage are thriving on an ongoing ecosystem of death. This has been so extreme. This has been fascinating. This has been everything, and I think that I'm gonna massage the indecision crumple out of the middle of my forehead. I'm gonna appreciate the arts very much, and then I shall sign out. I think I shall sign out indeed. Okay, saying that's not okay. So there's a younger clone of their mom. Okay, but it's the clone of the mom of the same person. Is it a good thing to keep the family together? or does the mom have issues or something? There's saying that girl is the younger clone of the lady in the black latex suit with the gun. Okay, black latex suit with a gun, whom I may have already put into some form of a category. Is this one? Would I see gun somewhere? Or is it like this going on? Oh, it's like this. Maybe? Okay, yeah, I think I have now made the connection. Here's you, and here's you. Well, they're both solidly alive. There's literally saying, never put me in a tier list, guys. Please don't put me in a tier list next to Charu. God have mercy. I could never do smash up as a tier list. They're saying, I love Natsuno becoming a space person as well in her cool spacesuit. Considering she really liked sci-fi when she was young, I think that was her dream. I really like sci-fi as well. Some of the terrors of space put me off from the idea of climbing into an actual spacesuit, but there it is. There it goes. This has been an extended 15 minutes long attempt to end the stream. Do I know anything more about myself from when I started? Probably just that I work poorly under pressure. Probably just that desperate times, desperate measures. I have no idea. Anything more. But perhaps next time I'll come back to smash up past tier lists and indeed perhaps even drawing more of a character with several hats on the self. Alright, I shall choke to death, and I shall see you guys later. Thank you very much for being here and being most excellent company. Great seeing you guys. See you later.